Hello, welcome to the Vocal Action Podcast. It's been a minute since I recorded. This is season 3. If you hadn't had a chance, you can go back and listen to seasons 1 and 2, wherever you listen to podcasts. And you can watch episodes, also some unreleased episodes that I'll be releasing soon on our YouTube channel, which is Vocal Action Network. I am your host and creator of the Vocal Action Podcast, Rashana Roach, and this is where community and culture collide. So, welcome back to those of you all who have been faithful listeners and awaiting, like a Rihanna album, the next season. Since the last time I posted an episode. I've had a baby, and I just need to take some time to get used to my new life. And so today, for those of you all who are watching, you see I have a special guest, Latoya. And she is actually no stranger to this life, as she is a mom of 2, as well as she wears other hats and is a manager for a government child welfare organization. So we just finished From Brunch to Launch. From Brunch to Launch is an annual vision board event, and it's an opportunity in January for you to actually visualize the goals that you have set for the year. So I know most people set goals at the end of the year for a previous year. So this is another opportunity and another way to check in with yourself about those goals by putting some visuals to it that you can hang somewhere that you often see, and you can remind yourself of what those goals are. So I wanted to have Latoya on because we're going to present the boards that we did today at From Brunch to Launch. And we're going to talk about some of the things on our boards. Okay? Latoya, you want to say anything?
No.
You may also recognize Latoya from the Pink Toolkit. If you look at the Vocal Action Network, you know that the Pink Toolkit is a resource that we talk about ownership, and Latoya and her husband are on, I believe, episode 1 or 2, which is Revolutionary Black Love. I'll make sure to put the link in the description as well, and you can listen or watch their interview about how their Black love has helped them buy their first home. So you may recognize her. And we're back. So actually, let's start with that really quick. So since that episode, how has everything been as a new homeowner?
So everything's been good.
Why are you talking like
Because I'm like, now look here.
this is not an interview.
Okay. So
I don't know why she's laughing.
so everything has been good. Just like you said, we had moved into our house 3 years ago. We got married a year after we moved in, and then after we got married, a month later, we found out that we were having a baby, and so I have a 1.5-year-old now, and so just been busy with now managing a life of being a wife, homeowner, and mom of 2. So that has been the update.
Yeah, and you had a new job.
Yes.
Or a new
And
position.
so returning back from maternity leave, I found out that I was accepted into a new position with a child and welfare agency. And so in the midst of me going back to work after having a new baby, I was going into a new job also. So all things new kind of happened in 2023. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's exciting. So we both have daughters that are turning 2 this year. So also any advice that you have, please leave it in the comment section. Well, you already have an older daughter, so you might be more familiar, but every child is different. So
Yes. And they're 5 years apart. So yeah.
It's been some time since then.
Yeah. So all advice is always welcome.
Yes. And as you all know, when it comes to the Vocal Action Podcast, it's a space where we are able to provide information and share resources to the community through the culture. It's where we're able to look at different blueprints that other people have laid out about how they are serving, uplifting the community. And so by sharing these tips in the comment section, other people are able to read the information. I don't know why she's laughing. Can read the information and try things out. I'm a person who goes to the comment section to figure out, how I can do something. Are you?
Yes, I'm a comment section person, but I'm also a what did they say it in a video? And let me fast forward to the end person. So,
Oh, okay. And then
but
you
I
have to
like the comments
rewind.
because then you could go back and reread.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And now with AI, like they pretty much summarize the comments. I
yeah,
find myself reading
transcribe
that too. Yeah, I'm like, let me see what
and
they're saying.
videos too. I know
Yeah.
YouTube have a feature now.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So, do you want to go first with your board?
Sure. So I know the board is kind of long, so I'll
Mm-hmm.
do a quick show here. But for me this year, of course, like I just said, coming back from having a baby, almost reaching 2 years old, going into a new job where I'm more so stationed at a desk. I just really wanted to focus on redefining my time, my space, what that looked like. And so my vision for this year is really getting back on track with rediscovering me and not
Mm-hmm.
mom me or wife me or homeowner me, work me, but more so Latoya. Like who was Latoya before Latoya became all these things?
I think
And
we said earlier we were naming this episode "I'm an FM Priority."
yes. So making sure that I prioritize myself because as I realized is that I put myself on the back burner to make sure everyone else is good. And now I see like the consequences of that. And so I wanted to really focus on making sure that I prioritize my health this year. Again, having a new baby, putting on extra pounds, not being as active as I want to, has caused me to put on more pounds. And I really want to just catch it before it turns into something that can be disastrous health wise.
That's real.
I also don't want to be the person with like a pill container taking, multiple pills in order to sustain myself or going to the doctors every week because, they need to check this or that.
Yeah.
So I really want to be proactive and try to incorporate lifestyle changes that will help for the good. So, and I don't know if you all will be able to read, but some of these things here just focus on like, of course, this flower in the middle is just like me blossoming again, like coming from, a seed being planted, being watered, having a new baby. I feel like it was a new me that emerged. And so,
And it's an orchid.
yeah.
For those of y'all that are listening, I know you're not able to actually see everything on the board, but it's a white orchid. It's a beautiful chocolate hand with colorful nails holding a white orchid. And I actually have one over there. I named mine Prue.
So I really saw this and I saw the flower and I was like, oh, blossoming. And so I figured this fit with this year and this season. And then amazing journey. I always feel like life is a journey, not a race. And so wherever our journey takes us during our time here on this earth, I'm always grateful for it and what comes with it, the good and the bad. And so I know that this year is going to be another journey and whatever that look like. Money, because we need this to do all things. And so I am manifesting an abundance of that.
Amen.
And then I also like this quote that says, I feel more connected to my body. I feel free. I feel attractive. I like the way I look. And so this is what I'm manifesting and
Nice.
kind of my mantra for this year because I feel beautiful as I am now, but as my body go through changes, as I get to roads that may be challenging throughout my journey, I just want to always keep this and make sure I know, like, because I love my body, let's take care of my body and keep it feeling beautiful, feeling attractive. And then some other things here, again, just highlighting nutrition. I really want to do this from a holistic approach. I don't want, and no knock against anybody who tried anything to help them on their weight loss or weight building journey, but I want to, use the things that God has put here for us to partake in naturally to be able to, lose weight.
You mean you're not
Um,
going to use Ozempic?
I'm not going to use Ozempic. I'm not going to cut my stomach in half. I really just want to exercise more, change my eating habits, and see what type of results those yield.
You know, a side note of that, speaking of like the conversation with Ozempic, I had a conversation with someone, and I have like friends that are using Ozempic and have a really great results and are in healthier places. And so she was asking me, if I wanted to think about or ask my doctor about Ozempic. And what I told her was, I'm not actually at the stage where I'm ready for that. I think that there are some people who are able to use the medications as an opportunity to jumpstart their health journey. You know, they've been like at a plateau for a while, and they wanna push past that. But honestly, if I'm being honest with myself, I feel like that I am trying to come out of a fog, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
that is like new motherhood. And that would that would be one more thing. That would be something that I would lean on versus lean into,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense, to help my health journey. And if I was in a place where I was disciplined mentally enough to lean into it, to use it to jumpstart, then it might be something that I would consider. But I would just, yeah, I would totally lean on that,
Yeah.
and wouldn't put in the work in the other areas to be successful after I finish
Yeah.
using the medication. So,
And I think for me, um, I really want to build that discipline in myself because, again, I feel like every year, probably, I know at least I could speak for myself. Every year, there's a health, vision goal that you want to achieve. I feel like every year since I graduated high school, I probably was like, oh, I want to lose weight this year, right? Like I feel like every year I probably go into the new year speaking of weight loss, but I never applied the skill or tried to lose weight because also things got in the way, life happened, I loved myself. I felt confident. I didn't feel like it. My lab results were good. The doctor was good. So I didn't feel like I had the pressures of, oh, you need to lose weight, you know, back during those years. However, as we grow older, introducing two kids, lifestyle changes, now I see, okay, if I continue down this path, I am going to put myself into a position where the doctors are going to kind of be giving me other news. And
yeah.
so this is where I really want to be intentional and try to incorporate lifestyle changes naturally, to just build up that discipline within myself because I haven't been able to build up that discipline. And so this is kind of my first year of actually saying, you know what? I'm going to try. I'm not saying I may succeed, I may only lose 5 pounds this year,
And that will be
but
success.
and that will be. But the main thing I want to get out of this is that I actually put forth the effort to make changes, and I can actually hopefully come back when we get to December and say, oh, I realize I no longer do this anymore. I no longer reach for that, or I'm, eating more of this, and I can feel different, even if it's internally, even if the scale don't budge. But if I feel like, oh, I'm breathing better, my heart feel good, my stomach feel good, to me that is success. And so that's what I want to do is build that discipline. Because again, yeah, that. And so the last couple things, again, this is all around just keeping it real. I have some stuff on here about home, mainly because, again, being new homeowners, just 3 years ago. Again, we got married in the time of moving in. We had a baby, so I just didn't have the time to like decorate and put everything in place the way I envision it. And so this is the year where I really started putting together my Pinterest board, really getting together a color scheme for different areas of the house, really actually going out and like finding and pricing things that I want to purchase for the house. We just got in December, we got, a new dining room table, new bedroom furniture. So, I'm slowly putting together just kind of like what I want the house to look like. And for me, that is big because I like for my space to feel like home. And so this was something else as a reminder for me to work on this year as well, is to keep that momentum with just making our house look like a home and not like we just moved in yesterday, like how we just moved in 3 years ago. So that is pretty much my board and just some quotes that, kind of fuel all the things that we discussed. Just talking about now is the time, seeking solace. What else it says? Weight loss challenge. And the reason why I put challenge in there is because I know it's going to be difficult. I haven't worked out in some months. I'm not used to, eating healthy and choosing healthy things, so much easier to go through a fast food line and to get something quick to snack on. And so, you know, I have to reform a habit that I didn't have for a long time. And so, just being real with myself and knowing that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a challenge, but if I stick to it, it could be a rewarding challenge.
I like that challenge is there because I know that's how I described my 2024, was that it was a challenge. And it doesn't mean that, I know many people, at least in my algorithm, said that 2024 was a horrible year. It wasn't great for them. 2024 was challenging for me. And I think it challenged me to rise to several occasions. And I met that challenge,
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's good to think about it like that, that this is a challenge that you're going to meet.
Yep. And then the last thing, just say make no regrets. And so just like how I have an amazing journey up here, like I move forward with gratitude. And so when it happens, it happens. And so I'm always looking for, okay, what's the lesson in this? Even if it's something that is not necessarily appeasing to me at the moment, but just always living life with no regrets. Like, what did you say? Live on 1,000? Your 1,000
Oh,
club?
live on 1,000 throwback.
So, yeah, no regrets and living on 1,000. So this is pretty much my board.
I love that. I love that. So, this is Vocal Action Podcast, and Vocal Action is all about, saying things, but also putting forth the action to make those things a reality. So, what is the one thing that, if we do this again in January and people are checking in with you to see how you did with your vision, that you're going to commit to obtaining your goal?
Um, I would think I would look at the baby steps. And so again, this is all about incorporating either different food options, healthier options, um, decorating something. So for me, if I come back next January and I say, hey, right now I eat one salad a day in addition to whatever my other meals are, if I feel as though that's healthy, again, I may not have lost 30 pounds, but at least I added additional vegetables to um, my daily intake. And then again, if I cannot find the curtains that I've been looking for, if I've been able to hang up picture frames in my living room, at least to me, that's one step closer to making my house feel more homey. So those are kind of like my smaller action steps that I plan on taking to lead to the bigger goals.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's also what I feel is manageable. And so my thing is, okay, yes, remove things, but also it's like, okay, before I remove stuff, how about I, increase my vegetable and fruit. And so I'm hoping that if I eat more fruits, if I eat more vegetables, then I will feel fuller and not have to go for those bag of chips or go for that candy bar, or go for that second plate of chicken or whatever. Maybe I'll be full off of the added stuff, which is good. And so I'm getting full off of good carbs and ingredients and things, and not so the bad stuff. So that is what I hope to be able to speak to um, next January. We come back into this space.
Maybe we'll do one in June too, like midway.
Yep. And then maybe I could come back and you guys will be like, look at the face, look at the, yeah. So, you know.
Yes. And for those of you all that are on this same journey, the next guest for January will be Kaylin, and she is Kaylin of Kaylin in Motion. She's currently doing a 75-day challenge. She is a wife, a mom of two, a cheerleading coach, a full-time employee. And she'll be talking to us about how she makes times and little things that she has done over the years to get herself to the fitness place that she's in now. So you can you can expect more coming about this topic. So yeah, so you can listen into and maybe join her challenge.
Yes.
Latoya is looking like she's like we're on like Oprah or something. And she's like,
I can't stop smiling. And
she's like, I'm on camera. Let me smile. Let me make sure they see I'm smiling. I love it. 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 Okay, so I will go next. This year I chose a brown board. Normally I choose like something black or purple that goes with the color aesthetic of Vocal Action, but I actually have been doing some rebranding, if you haven't noticed, from my different pages. And it's still black, there's still purple for Vocal Action, but some of my other businesses or offices are adding in like some shades of brown or some shades of melon, as I like to say. So I picked a brown board. 2025, before I start my board, it's all about discipline, because that is the one thing that it's going to take for me to accomplish all of my goals. As I started this podcast out by saying that I had a baby. And so for the past 2 years, I've been pregnant and getting used to being a new mom. And so this year, I feel like, I took the downtime that I needed, and now I can begin to reintegrate myself into what my goals are, and in a way that I'm not overcommitting myself, because it's very easy to get burned out. I feel like being a mom, just because children are very stimulating, and all the other things that you do are also stimulating. So you can definitely feel like fatigued and overwhelmed. What are you doing with your face?
I'm sorry, I'm trying to find my angle.
You get fatigued and overwhelmed very quickly. So this is my board. I'm trying to make sure I get the light there so you all can see it. And then I'm going to describe
Shout out to Oprah.
Yes, I'm going to describe what everything is. Okay, so at the top, we start with the quote that says, "Discover excellence with all your senses." And then I have "It began." And I have that because, as I said, this year it's going to take discipline for me to get done what I need to get done. And I need to like incorporate all of me. I need to show up unapologetically with everything of who I am. We're not dimming the light. I'm also not half-assing myself. I really just need to like pull all of myself together. So that's what with all the senses. And then it began because I did start this before January. And this year, I don't want to think too much about starting something. I just want to do it, and so that speaks to business, but it also speaks to like organization, just doing things like then in the moment, rather than putting them off. And then I have pound or hashtag for those of you all who are younger millennials, Gen Z, and our babies are actually Gen Alpha.
I know.
Yeah, like the very end of the tail end of Gen Alpha. I have hashtag think. And I have that because before I make decisions, I need to think, of course, when it comes to discipline. And I am retraining my mind also, like you were saying, around your health goals. I am retraining my mind as well around health, around parenting, around profession, everything. And finances is a big one that I'm working on this year. And so before I make decisions, I want to think, how does this affect my goals? Is this in line with my goals? Is this aligned with what God has for me? And so that's what the hashtag think is for. Then here at the top, you'll also see there's like a bar, like a round bar, and it has like some champagne and some beautiful flowers. What this reminded me of is like some sort of celebration. And this year, my discipline is rooted in stewardship. And I feel like before I can go to the next level or before I can have more, I need to show that I can exercise responsible stewardship over what I already have. And so that means celebrating it. And so I celebrate my body by feeding it healthier food. I celebrate my body by working out. I celebrate my body even as it is right now for all the things that it has been able to do and has carried me through all of these years. I celebrate my home by keeping it neat or investing in it in different ways. So like that's what I'm saying. I celebrate my job by going every day and showing up on time and doing the work. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to earn income to support my family and the dreams that I have. So that's how I'm looking at all of this. It's me celebrating all of the things that I have by showing good stewardship. One of the most beautiful blessings that I have is my baby. So I have this picture of Gabrielle Union and her daughter Kavia, because if you follow Gabrielle Union, you know that it took her some time to get to that point to obtaining the goal of being a mother. And sometimes that's what it is. Some goals you don't get immediately. It takes time, but they're worth it when they do come. So this just represents that, and motherhood is at the top because that my daughter is a top priority. Some of the other things that I have on here are Oprah. I put Oprah, I think, on every vision board that I do, mainly because I always make sure that I have one of her old magazines at my events, but also because Oprah, since I was a child, was a staple in my home. I watched Oprah every day at 4 o'clock on ABC. And I just love everything that she represents. I love that she is a person who came from the journalism world. I am not a journalist by trade at all, but I am here hosting my own podcast. And so it is an area that I hope to grow in. I love that how she uses her resources is to then resource Black people. You think about everybody that's in her circle, and also women. But I love that she does that for Black people too, which is something that Vocal Action is very dedicated to as well. I love that she seems to be aging gracefully. I know she just had 2 knee replacements last year, I believe, or maybe the year before. My mom had a knee replacement this year. Was so excited about that. And I just love how she's created this life for herself, seemingly, because I say seemingly because I can only go by what is put out there. You never know what actually, is going on with someone in their own home. But seemingly, like, she has created a beautiful life for herself that has poured into other people, not just within this country, but also abroad. And so, I hope that one day I can have a global impact. It might not be at her level, but I want to have global impact. And so she's always on the board. She's also wearing purple, which is my favorite color. I have Beyonce here, and then I have Take Your Seat because she is the queen. She's the queen, okay? Move out the way, okay? I'm with my girls. We all need space. Okay, so I have Beyonce here as well with Oprah and Gabrielle Union. So there's like a connection between that and also Take Your Seat, because it's the idea that they're all mothers in different ways, and Beyonce has been balancing, which after seeing the Renaissance documentary, I'm still not even sure how she balances it all, but she has been able to balance motherhood and her career at a high level. Anybody still doubting the greatness of Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter, please take your seat, okay? Also, anybody still doubting the greatness of Rashana Roach, take your seat. So that is that is what that is. Take your seat, have a front row seat, grab your popcorn, because I'm really excited for what's ahead. Oh yes is here, just because I do feel like somewhat this is my year of yes. Not in the sense of that I'm saying yes to everything as written by Shonda Rhimes. I think that was her book, Year of Yes. But I'm saying yes to new contracts for vocal action. I'm also saying yes to just other things in my personal life as well. So I have oh yes there, because I'm I'm hoping to attract some new things this year. Here at the bottom of the Oprah picture, I have Hey Gorgeous because I'm gorgeous. Mary J. Blige, Good Morning Gorgeous. Yes, that's me. Unique and inspiring. That's
Unique.
yes. See, Beyonce. Okay. Please don't try. Okay, no, we can't. All right. So yes, unique and inspiring because sometimes you have to take the road less traveled or the unknown road. And I feel like I'm actually okay with that. I'm figuring it out. So that is just to remind me that, something that is different can also be inspiring. New focal points. I really am focusing this year. When I did my strategic plan for this business, the podcast, Vocal Action, I actually used the Kwanzaa 7 principles to create my SMART goals for this year. So I'll be really excited to report on those throughout the year, and also for you all to see it at the end, my 2025 end year report. So just looking at new ways of doing things, changing the mindset, just as you talked about, getting to a place where I am committing to the goal and not being scared of the goal. It's one thing to give myself grace, and I do give myself grace, but I can also grace myself into laziness, and excuses for why I got distracted or just didn't accomplish something. And that's just me being very transparent. So, I need to. I need to get some of that stuff together, and then what's inside, because it's really about changing the inside, changing my mentality, changing what I'm putting inside my body. Things that I'm also ingesting, whether that's through other podcasts, TV shows, media, whatever, books. Like, I need to really have things aligned with the vision that I have for this year. um, we have ingenuity in industry of that's here because, once again, as I already said, unique and inspiring, those things go together. I have the guide and the report. That's because one thing that I'm working on is documenting all of the impacts and the things that I've done this year as I'm trying to get new contracts. You have to create a portfolio. You have to tell people what you've done, what makes you qualified, for them to contract you out for certain positions and, certain projects. And so the guide and the report is, making sure that I have all those things documented there somewhere, so I can access them to be able to show that I am qualified for certain opportunities. And lastly is feature partners. And I said that one last because that's one of the hardest places, as some of you know, and some of you may be able to see through my media pages. I work with very few people, and not very consistently. And so most of the work is done by me. I like those memes and reels. I am the CEO, the secretary, the CFO, the social media manager. It's me. Vocal action is me. Yes, vocal action is me. Okay, the principal consultant, it's me. And there's an African proverb that says, if you want to go alone, but if you want to go far, you have to go together. And so this year, I'm really focusing on trusting and finding people that are in alignment with what it is that we're doing here and the things that we want to do, so that vocal action can go far. So I'm looking forward to reporting out on this at different points throughout the year. So I hope that you all will remember this, because when it comes to pass this year and you see different things, I want you to cheer for me, but I also want you to know that you can do it as well. So that is my board, and that is Latoya's board for 2025. I think we both have a lot of like discipline on there that's related. We both have things that we both talked about, things that are related to health. I actually didn't talk anything about my home on mine. Uh, I have things that I have to do, but
And I want to say too, shelf awareness. When I saw this, I first thought it said
that's cute.
self
I did
awareness,
too.
but then when I saw a shelf, I thought about it and I said, sometimes you got to put stuff back because you're not ready for it. But it's all about
Mm,
making sure that you go pick it up and you don't let it collect dust. And so
yeah.
this is kind of like one of my reminders that, I may have days where I may not be able or capable of having discipline because of whatever is happening. Um, Taking it easy on myself and knowing that I could set it down and come back to it,
Mm-hmm.
but making sure I come back to it. And so this shelf awareness is what stood out to me the most is because it's all about having it.
That is really dope. I like that shelf awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And I also find too that I have so many ideas all the time that I shelf
Mm-hmm.
so much and then I forget about them. And so it's also like, yeah, just going back to it, to see is it something that needs to remain on the shelf? Is it something that you might even need to donate or give to someone else, because maybe you don't have the capacity to do it, or is it something that you need to pull off the shelf and get done? I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like that. So, how was this experience? Oh, I was about to ask Latoya how this experience was for her. And Latoya has been at every From Brunch to Launch since the first one
Yeah.
in 2016 or 17.
2017 because I was pregnant.
Yeah, 20. Yeah, you had just found out something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, how has this been for you every year? Like doing a vision board, coming to this event.
So I never really done vision boards intentionally. And so it has been really good to come into these because, of course, at an event like Brunch to Launch, you meet a lot of different people from different backgrounds in different situations at different points in their lives. And I want to say I probably told Rashana this a couple years ago, but it's also some healing that I think
Mm,
happens in these spaces. And I know I walk away feeling even more whole than what I came. And not necessarily because, oh, I got my goals written down, I'm motivated to go do it, but even for things that I didn't even realize were going to come up that needed healing. And so
mm,
every year I realize when I come and we do the board and we start discussing, and then other conversations come about, and then you connect with people. And so just like what Rashana say when she talks about, connecting and making those connections, and how that's been like one of the main focal points with vocal action, I can be a witness and attest to that actually happening in just this one event alone. And so for me, that has been more um, wholesome. I feel more motivated. I feel like I also can make a board that is more achievable. I
mm-hmm.
remember going to the very first board, and I remember thinking to myself, like, okay, what are some of the big attractive goals that everybody kind of talk about wanting to have at the beginning of the year? And I remember making my first board really about kind of what I believe society would want to hear as my goals are with
Mm.
becoming a new mom and going into something new. And so I really focus my board on what I believe.
You have marriage on there though,
I
and you
know
then you end up marrying the man
what,
that you brought to the first From Brunch to Lunch. So a lot of
what,
stuff on your
yeah,
board did come true. Just saying.
yeah, what I believe was right. But then again, after leaving a space, after talking with people, making connections, making friends with people that I'm still friends with now, Rashana is good for that. Side note, if you're looking for somebody to date, she will probably be the one to introduce you to your soulmate. But you know,
And then hopefully you return the favor. Go ahead.
and so, I realize every year my boards have gotten more and more intentional. I became okay with having more and more actionable steps. Um, Again, so much healing happens, and it's so like unintentional,
Mm,
unintended. It just
yeah.
happens, and I don't know if it's because again, Rashana is like a magician with how she makes people and the right type of people in the right spaces. I don't know what magic wand she does when she send them
I'm gonna leave.
invites
Yeah, no,
out.
I'm gonna have to give that to God and the universe because I just invite people, and the people who show up show up.
And it's always the right mix of people. And
I agree
so
with that.
again, I just feel like these spaces offer a lot of healing, a lot of preparedness, but it also makes it feel real and attainable. And I think that's the most important piece when you're designing a vision board. Because, yes, you can clip out things, but if you know that you are not capable of achieving them, putting it on a board for that year is not going to make sense. And so, I just think that it just helps with making things feel achievable and attainable, and it helps you to kind of scale back or either say, oh, I can do this, and even being real with saying like, okay, this may not be my 2025 achievable goal, but this is
Yeah,
how I'm going to put in small steps to get to this maybe in 2030, but at least
yeah.
it starts in 2025. So that's what I like most about this event, on top of the drinks and the food, be drinking and fooding.
Yes, it's from brunch to launch, right? Essentially you talked about, creating something that's attainable. As you all know, we are a consulting company. Uh, so um, one of the things that has changed since the very first one is that the boards are smaller. So Latoya, she stapled two boards together so that she could have, a horizontal landscape. But originally I used to have the big, huge boards.
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed was that a couple things. Some people had very little on their board, and so it had a whole lot of space. And then there were other people who were cutting out so many things to fill the space. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like Latoya said, it didn't offer an opportunity for you to really zero in on something that was actually attainable. So maybe your board only focuses on one of your goals, or
Mm-hmm.
like an overarching theme, as my board is really about discipline. And so we made smaller boards. I decided to do smaller boards, which allow people to have the opportunity to really focus, on what they were trying to achieve in 2025. So that has changed. I've also been hosting it at my home for several years, which I think maybe has added to the element of connection. We did do a virtual one during
Yeah, a
the
virtual one,
pandemic, which
and
was
you had
like
breakout rooms.
really, really nice. Like that
Mm-hmm.
one, you talk about healing. That one had me feeling like I was at church at a revival. That one was really, really nice. Yeah, we had the breakout rooms. And I had everyone separated because
Mm-hmm.
what I did was everyone gave me one goal that they were trying to work on for the year. And I put all the goals up on a board in my office. And in addition to praying over them, I categorize them into like themes based on the goals. And so that's how I established the breakout rooms, because everyone had like some sort of theme, whether it is job or parenthood or getting to the next level. Some people were around like growing confidence and things like that. So uh, that's how that came to be. But over the years, I have really enjoyed putting this event on, from brunch to launch. Is something that I hope to continue to do. One of my goals for my business is that, I also want to make money. And so I'm hoping that from brunch to launch can serve as an opportunity for me to celebrate the growth of my business in 2026, and, that I'm able to continue, providing a space that feels like it is restorative, that feels like it
Mm-hmm.
is encouraging in the years to come. So, yeah, thank you so much for your feedback. Really quickly, as before we move into our next and final segment, I did want to announce some new segments that you can expect in season 3. I know we're introducing segments. I get it. And so one of the segments is called Megaphone Minute. And that is an opportunity where pretty much I'm able to give everyone or share information about different community events or different
Ooh.
events that are impacting our community and culture. So if you have anything that you would like me to share during the Megaphone Minute, you can email me at vocalactionllc.com, or you can visit us on our Instagram page, which I need to change at the bottom here. I see that, which is at Vocal Action Podcast on Instagram. But you can send me a DM at this point, or feel free to email me with whatever announcement that you would like me to read for the Megaphone Minute. Also, there will be opportunities starting next month for anyone who actually wants a commercial or an ad. I will be creating those for a small fee for those people that want to advertise different events, businesses, and things of that sort in that way. So, finally, I have some final questions, some closing questions for you, Latoya. All right. So this is what I call collision. So as you all know, this is where community and culture collide. Latoya is still trying to find her angle in the camera. So we're going to play collision, which is some rapid fire questions and some that you actually do have to think about. So I guess they're not as rapid fire. So first word that comes to your mind when you think of the word community. Quick.
Together.
First word that comes to mind when you hear culture.
Culture.
Okay. Wait.
I'm not good with rapid fire.
Okay. And the last two questions are, everyone knows that this doesn't have to be too rapid fire. Everyone knows that I love reality TV. Okay, I love watching, particularly Housewives of Atlanta, Housewives of Potomac, Married to Medicine. I did watch the first season of the Tia Mowry reality show that she had on. I love the Braxtons on WeTV. Yes, I am a reality fan. And so most reality shows, they have like a self-title or motto, right? At the beginning of the show or sometime that shows on the screen. And so what would be your self-title, or what is your self-title or motto on this season 3 of the Vocal Action Podcast? And now she's thinking, I'll tell you mine because mine is always the same. Mine is, I am an around the way girl going around the world. So I really love LL Cool J song. I need an around the way girl. I love that song. I'm from Boston, and I feel like I really resonate with being that around the way girl. And I do believe that the opportunities that I've had to gain education by meeting new people from different places, traveling to new places, makes me an around the way girl going around the world.
So, since we're talking about songs,
Okay.
mine is Love Yours. Um, and I think that's just
Who's that
like
by?
J. Cole.
Oh, I
And
thought
so
so.
every time, no matter where you are, no matter what's happening in your life, no matter what you got going on, just always have love and gratitude for yourself. And I feel like that describes who I am. Like I am pretty
Mm-hmm.
much a positive, take things on the chin, take it for what it is. And so um I'm always about giving gratitude, but also very much loving just where I'm at, you know? And so, yeah, in the spirit of songs, Around the Way Girl, Love Yours by J. Cole. But that wouldn't really look right on reality TV. So,
But you know what? I think you have like one of the little quotes on your board that maybe you
the
could
gratitude
pull
meter.
from. I mean, yeah, you can call yourself the gratitude meter, or you can be like, I feel more connected to my body. I feel free. I feel attractive.
No, 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 no.
And I like the way I look.
Keep it real, make it simple.
Okay. Keep it real, make it simple.
As a double Aquarius, I always keep it real. But if anybody ever know me, I am simple, figuratively and literally.
Okay. And the last question is, we know that you work for a child welfare agency, and you are very invested in the Black community in different ways, helping your husband with his business, which is
Family Jewels. You can
yes,
find us on Instagram at Family Jewels, but it's FAMLY and Jewels spelled with a Z at the end.
awesome, yes. And so, what do you hope with all of the hats that you wear? We talked about some of them earlier. Will be the legacy of your life and work.
Mm. I really want my legacy to go down with me building bridges and connecting people. Um, if I don't know, I try to connect you with somebody who does know. Um, in my work, working with families, working with kids, working with key stakeholders in the community, I'm always trying to make sure that I have a resource to give you in your time of need. And again, if I don't know off the top of my head, I can get you to the next person who I know can help you and direct you. And so I would hope that my legacy is that um, she always helped building those bridges.
Okay, okay. Is there anything else that you would like the listeners and viewers to know about you?
I feel really comfortable now on the camera, and I hope that I will be invited back to do another season on this podcast.
After 52 minutes. Okay. Now you feel comfortable. That's great. We're happy that we were able to do that for you during this episode. You can catch the Vocal Action Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts to listen to it, or you can view us on YouTube. Don't quote me, but I may decide to put these episodes back on Facebook. So if you are on Facebook, you will be able to listen. Actually, let me know in the comments if people are still watching interviews and podcasts on Facebook. And it might be something that I decide to make some time to do. So catch us for our next episode. We're really excited that you came to join us for our first episode of season 3 of the Vocal Action Podcast. And until next time, peace.